to the Rebel Alliance Briefing Room podcast. We are here to podcast about anything and everything Star Wars with you. Please visit our website where you can play current and past episodes. That's https://RABR.KyleJohansson.us. That's RABR.KyleJohansson.us. On the left-hand side is the navigation menu. You can use this to learn how to load the Rebel Alliance Briefing Room podcast on your Android or Apple phone and tablet. And we have direct links to our podcast on Apple and Google Podcasts. Please participate by connecting to our social media, answering questions of the week, or submitting feedback directly from the site. Again, all of these are available at the Rebel Alliance Briefing Room website at RABR.KyleJohansson.us. And now, it's time to talk Star Wars. I am Kyle John Johansson, and this is Andrew Scott Sutton. Say hello.
Hello. Today we're reviewing Star Wars Tales of the Jedi Episode 4, Sith Lord. And this is the one where we see Palpatine a little bit, but we also see fill some gaps in some of the things that happened in the Clone Wars and in between. Related to Order 66 and a couple other things. We'll get into it. It's a pretty extensive episode. It's very short, though. It's still 18 minutes long. I think that's the longest one of all of the 6 episodes, but this takes place 32 before the Battle of Yavin. So this is Clone Wars times, around then, maybe a little bit before, when things start to heat up, I guess. And there's mention of a couple other things, so let's hit this button.
Spoiler alert. Danger. You're about to be spoiled. This is your spoiler alert. We're about to talk candidly and explicitly about some TV shows or movies. If you have not watched them, please fast forward to the appropriate section. You will not be warned again because you will be spoiled.
You heard the guy, so fast forward all the way to the end and you won't be spoiled. Yeah, so again, we're talking about Tales of the Jedi, Episode 4, Sith Lord. Go ahead and pull up your chair and have a seat in the Rebel Alliance briefing room as we talk about it. At the Jedi Temple on Coruscant, Master Dooku enters a restricted section of the Jedi Library. Inside, the computer system asks him to enter his security clearance code. Dooku enters Master Sifo-Dyas's code. And if you noticed, it was like a door that nobody was around, and he checked to make sure, and passes all kinds of people while he's in there. After the computer authenticates his code, he accesses a file on planet Kamino and deletes all records of the planet from Council's libraries. Dooku then goes back out and mingles within the library facility. This is kind of interesting because we always thought that someone else deleted that. We thought maybe some other person like Sifo-Dyas actually deleted himself, which says here he did, but Dooku did it instead. He had Sifo-Dyas's code for some reason. And while he's mingling around, he meets the librarian, Josta Nu, who tells him his former apprentice, Qui-Gon, fought a Sith Lord on Tatooine. Nu remarks that both Jinn and Dooku have had great imaginations, and the quality Dooku surmises is lacking within most of the temple. And if you remember, this is the scene where Qui-Gon is picking up Anakin and bringing him back to the temple. And he says, "Yeah, I met a supposed Sith Lord who used the dark arts in his fighting techniques. This is before the battle they have where, um, Qui-Gon cuts him in half. Or, I'm sorry, it's not Qui-Gon. It's Kenobi that cuts him in half. All right, so then there's a reunion between Qui-Gon Jinn, and Master Yaddle. Jinn notices a word of his duel of Maul has spread fast. Yaddle replies that Jinn's statement to the Jedi Council was surprising. Dooku meets with Jinn and asks him about his encounter with the Sith Lord. And remember, Yaddle was on the council, so he knew about it directly. Jinn describes his attacker as highly skilled warrior whom he believes was trained by the Jedi arts. Dooku asks if he believes that the attacker was a Sith Lord and concludes that the council was not eager to validate his conclusion. Jinn confirms this was the case. Dooku responds that he has been warning the council about coming darkness for years, but they have ignored his concerns. Yaddle thinks that Dooku is being unduly alarmed. When Dooku asks if she doubts his claim, Yaddle says she does not doubt Jinn's claim, but agrees that the council is right at being cautious until they know more. Dooku agrees with Yaddle that the Sith Lord is not to be trifled with. He warns Jinn that he won't be there to protect his former Padawan. Jinn tells Dooku not to worry since he is Obi-Wan Kenobi's master now. Jinn gives a favorable praise of Kenobi's abilities and his progress so far. Dooku says that he would like to meet Kenobi one day since Jinn is always singing his praises. After Jinn leaves, Yaddle notices that Dooku is looking sad. Dooku remarks that their students grew up so fast. Yaddle agrees and says, "This is the way of things." Dooku takes his leave and walks away. Later, Dooku visits the great tree I think it's in the courtyard of the temple that lies on the grounds. Yaddle joins Dooku as he meditates. Dooku recalls that he used to bring Jinn to the tree as a boy. The young Jinn was fascinated with the tree. Having been born on the planet of steel and stone, like Coruscant, as the leaves fall, Yaddle tells Dooku that the Jedi Council is leaving for Naboo to attend the funeral of Qui-Gon Jinn. So a little time has passed, and Qui-Gon had his second fight with the Sith Lord, which we all know is not a real Sith Lord. He's just an apprentice. Dooku elects not to go, claiming that he will not be pleasant company. Yaddle asks Dooku if he holds the council accountable for Jinn's death. Dooku replies that Jinn has become one with the Force, and that it is time to let him go. Yaddle questions if Dooku could leave without attending his former apprentice's funeral. Dooku heads to the temple hangar where he boards a DC-0052 speeder and departs. Yaddle follows Dooku in her own starship. Dooku travels to the Sith lair on Coruscant's the Works district. Yaddle follows Dooku's trail and parks her ship nearby. Inside the building, Dooku confronts his Sith master, Darth Sidious. Sidious. Anyway, it's Palpatine. For letting Maul kill Qui-Gon. Sidious replies that both of them have lost an apprentice in service of their greater goals. Palpatine says that the galaxy will not be remade without sacrifices. As Yaddle infiltrates the building, Dooku says that Jinn could have been an ally. Sidious responds that Jinn would have been an ally for Dooku. Dooku asks Sidious if he is questioning his loyalty, and Sidious confirms that this is the case. Uh-oh. He has his doubts. Dooku says that he has done everything that Sidious has requested. The Sith Lord says that he will ask more of Dooku if they are to succeed. Dooku lists his achievements, including dealing with Sifo-Dyas, Kamino, and the clone troopers. Dooku says that he has betrayed everything and everyone he has known. Sidious compliments Dooku for his great loyalty to the greater cause. Yaddle is eavesdropping on the conversation, and Dooku is upset that many have died because of his actions. Sidious replies that this is the price of freedom. So did you catch that there? So he took care of Sifo-Dyas, basically used Sifo-Dyas' name and everything to uh, do the clone troopers and probably add the chip so that Order 66 would work, all that stuff. He's one of the masterminds behind all that, I guess, or the one who actually did all this stuff. And then the two Sith Lords are interrupted by Yaddle, who confronts Sidious. Sidious asks Dooku if he has betrayed him. Dooku says that this is not the case and walks towards Yaddle. Yaddle attempts to reason with Dooku as a fellow Jedi, telling him to help her regardless of his crimes. Dooku points out that she is aware of his actions in the service of a Sith Lord. Sidious tells Dooku not to believe Yaddle. Yaddle tells Dooku that he can make up for any crimes that he has committed by helping her bring the Sith Lord to justice. Sidious reminds Dooku of his own delusions with the Jedi by blindly serving a corrupt galactic Senate that fails the Galactic Republic that it represents. To prove his loyalty, Sidious tasks Dooku with killing Yaddle. Yaddle tells Dooku that there is still a chance to make things right, and Dooku says that it's too late before igniting his lightsaber. Yaddle says no and fights back with her lightsaber. The two engage in lightsaber duel in the presence of Sidious as he watches him and cackles and laughs. Nimble and agile, Yaddle retreats into the hangar while Dooku searches for her. Yaddle tells that she is on his side, and she stepped down from the position on the Jedi Council. Yaddle also tells Dooku that he was right about so many things and that Jinn did not need to die. Homing in on her location, Dooku uses the Force to push away the starship that she is hiding behind. Sidious laughs as the two engage in a second lightsaber duel. Wow, wow. Dooku maneuvers Yaddle to the maul of the hangar. Yaddle eyes her ship. Dooku asks if she is heading back to the Jedi Council, and Yaddle counters that it is Dooku who has run into the arms of evil. The two engage in another fierce lightsaber duel at the entrance to the hangar. Dooku uses the Force to lower the gate, seemingly crushing Yaddle to death. Dooku then deactivates his lightsaber, and Sidious tells his apprentice that he has done well and tells him to rise. However, Yaddle survives and uses the Force to lift the gate of the hangar, shining light on Dooku. The wounded Yaddle then stumbles into the hangar and falls. In her last moments, she looks up to Dooku when Dooku says that he wants to bring peace and order to the galaxy. Yaddle counters that so many have already suffered for what he calls order. Dooku offers to bring her peace and strikes her down with his lightsaber, killing her. Sidious watches in the darkness. Yeah. Yeah, so let's do this.
And now, a word from our sponsors. Does your bald head take a beating from shaving, the sun, and all of the things Mother Nature throws your way? Do ladies look at your dry, sunburnt head and cringe? Well, guys, there's a new product out there in the head care market that promises to rock your head. I mean dome. Looks soft, clean, and touchable, and it's trending #1 through social media and on YouTube. Introducing Dome Armor. It conditions with moisturizers like coconut oil and shea butter, protects with sunscreen up to SPF 45, and enhances your already sexy dome into an irresistible hands-on experience. Keep your dome safe and protected. Get Dome Armor, now available in fresh bacon scent.
Ooh, bacon.
Sure to get the ladies to come running in fine stores like Walmart and Lowe's. Oh, and for those still struggling with minor hair loss, try Grow Gain. This product will refresh, revitalize, and regrow hair on your dome.
I need some of that Grow Gain, but all right. So so that was the end of the episode, and we need your
feedback at KyleJohansson.us. That's feedback, KyleJohansson.us.
So you can use that email feedback at KyleJohansson.us. Go to our website on the left-hand side. There's some links. One is for feedback, which is for a form. You fill it out, add your name, your feedback, and send it off to us. Click submit. There's also questions of the week, which this week's question for this show is, why does Yaddle talk normally and not backwards like Yoda? And we've actually talked about this already. It was one of our news stories before, and Yaddle talks normally just because Yoda was weird and liked to talk backwards, and he thought it made people pay more attention to him and listen to what he's actually saying. So it was, the Yoda species. It has nothing to do with how Yoda talks. It's just a funny quirk of his. There's also speculation that maybe Yoda fell and hit his head at some point in time and messed up his speech areas of his brain, which is why he talks that way. We don't know. Anyway, so you can go there and fill out and answer the question of the week. And then the last way to send us feedback is on our YouTube page. The video of this will be posted, and you can comment on the video there on the YouTube page. And that about wraps us up.
Thank you for listening to the Rebel Alliance Briefing Room podcast. Please visit our website where you can play current and past episodes. That's https://RABR KyleJohansson.us. That's RABR.KyleJohansson.us.
Yeah.
On the left-hand side is a navigation menu. You can use this to learn how to load the Rebel Alliance Briefing Room podcast on your Android or Apple phone and tablet. And we have direct links to our podcast on Apple and Google Podcasts. Please participate by connecting to our social media, answering questions of the week, or submitting feedback directly from the site. Again, all of these are available at the Rebel Alliance Briefing Room website at RABR.KyleJohansson.us. This podcast in no way is approved, sponsored, or owned by Lucasfilms Ltd., Disney, Disney Plus, or any of its subsidiaries. All opinions are solely owned by Kyle and or Scott, and in no way express the views or opinions of their past or present employers. Views and opinions are not supported or restricted by Lucasfilms Ltd., Disney, Disney Plus, or any of its subsidiaries. Any rebroadcast, reproduction, or any or other use of this podcast and its affiliate sites without consent of Super Duper Podcast Network and its host is prohibited. I am Kyle Johansson. This is Andrew Scott. Say goodbye now.
Bye-bye now.